Hello everyone, this is my first video lecture of the year, and this one concerns itself with operations with exponents, so operations with powers, if you will. So let's put down some rules. Here's my rule number 1. 10 to the a times 10 to the b equals 10 to the a plus b. This is a very nice and useful formula that turns a very difficult operation such as multiplication into something extremely simple like addition. So let's see an example. Let's say I have 10 to the 3 times 10 to the 5. Well, this is just 10 to the 3 plus 5, also known as 10 to the 8. That's it. That's all there is to it. What if I have a negative number? 10 to the 4 times 10 to the negative 2. This is just 10 to the 4 plus minus 2. And this comes out to 10 to the 2. Okay. So this is very, very, very straightforward. Now this only works if you are working with multiplication. This is not going to work if you have division. So keep this in mind. This rule only works with multiplication. Okay, we have another rule for division. Let's do the rule for the division now. This is what it is. 10 to the a over 10 to the b equals 10 to the a minus b. So an easy way to remember this is that if you increase, whether by multiplying, then you add, right? Multiplication increases, addition increases. If you reduce by division, then you subtract also, right? So if you increase, you keep increasing just in a different way. If you reduce, you keep reducing just in a different way. So let's do an example. 10 to the 6 over 10 to the 3 equals 10 to the 6 minus 3. This comes out to 10 to the 3. This is it. This is all there is to it for our rules for division. Well, what if we have a situation where we have to use them both? I'm going to do an example problem where I'm going to use both of those. And these are the example problems that you see in your Powers Review assignment. So I have 10 to the 3 times 10 to the negative 2 over 10 to the 4 times 10 to the negative 7. What is that going to come out to? All I need to do is do my rules. First, I'm going to use my rule with multiplication and take care of my numerator and my denominator. And then I will use my division rule and get the final answer. So first, let's do the numerator. 10 to the 3 plus minus 2, And let's put the stuff in the denominator as well. I'm just using the addition rule. The addition turns your multiplication into addition. So it's instead of 10 to the 4 times 10 to the negative 7, it is just 10 to the 4 plus minus 7. All right. Well, this comes out to, let's do the top. 3 plus minus 2, that's 10 to the 1. 4 plus minus 7, that's 10 to the negative 3. Now next, I'm going to use my division rule. I'm going to subtract my exponents. Remember, you subtract top minus bottom. So in this case, I have 1 minus 3. This comes out to 1 plus 3 because 2 minuses make a plus. And now I have 10 to the 4. And this is my final answer. So what would be a good procedure for doing something like that? Okay, so what is going to be my step 1? Step 1 is apply the multiplication rule to the top and to the bottom of your fraction, right? So, or in other words, add exponents on the top and add exponents on the bottom separately. This is our example, right? We had for our step 1, 10 to the really doesn't want to do it. So this is our first step, right? Add exponents on the top and exponents on the bottom separately. Over here, I'm adding my exponents on the top and I'm adding my exponents on the bottom. I'm not adding them all up together. Whatever stays on the top stays on the top, whatever stays on the bottom stays on the bottom. Step 2. Step 2 sounds extremely obvious, but a lot of people forget to do that, and then they end up with the wrong answer. Write down the answer of step 1. Seriously, guys, if you don't write down that answer, chances are you're gonna end up with something you don't want very easily. This is extremely simple and it happens very, very often. So now that I have written down the answer of my step 1, I can move on to my step 3. Step 3 is use the division formula. Subtract top minus bottom. So I'm literally going to put down top minus bottom. Guys, exponents only. Do not do anything weird with the tens. Tens stay unchanged. It's just the exponents that change. So in this case, I end up with 10 to the 1 minus 3. Now, you have to do some operations with negative numbers to get an answer here, but minus and minus make a plus. So this is really just 1 plus 3. So step 4, write down your final answer. Once again, extremely simple. All you have to do is subtract two numbers. There is nothing more to it. So my final answer in this case is 10 to the 4. Very, very, very straightforward, okay? Are there any other rules for our exponents? Sure, there are 2 more. But those rules are extremely simple and very self-explanatory. So rule number 1, what if you don't have a top in your fraction? What if it's a 1? Maybe you have something that looks like this. 1 over 10 to the 3. All you have to do is change the sign of your exponent, and that it's not going to be a fraction anymore. This is 10 to the negative 3. Just like that. That completely eliminates your fraction. So the general rule for something like this is 1 doesn't want to copyright. It's 1 over 10 to the a equals 10 to the minus a. And it doesn't matter what your a is. It could be 3, it could be negative 3, it could be 5. So let's do another example of this. 1 over 10 to the negative 2. This is 10 to the negative 2. Negative and negative makes positive. This is 10 to the 2. That's it. One last rule. I promised it's last one. We need to know what is 10 to the 0. Well, this is very, very straightforward. 10 to the 0 is always 1. That's it. That's all there is to it. So these are your rules. Make sure you have them somewhere in your notebook, okay? Because rules are important. Use the rules to solve any and all problems with exponents that you will see in this class. I also gave you, as in this lecture, a step-by-step procedure on how to deal with big fractions like this. So make sure you do that.